From Wish TV, All Indiana Politics is your premier source for Indiana politics. Focusing on issues that matter to you.
I still want us to be the best in the Midwest.
We can't afford another lockdown.
Give the citizens of this country the relief they need.
Education in the state of Indiana remains priority number one.
In-depth, nonpartisan coverage.
We don't know exactly where the economy will be in January.
People are worried with good reason.
Exclusive interviews with Indiana's political leaders.
We have the resources here in the state of Indiana to care for those who are in need.
Expert analysis on critical legislation.
We need to reform those laws.
This recovery is going to take some time.
We've got to anticipate that there'll be a budget shortfall.
From Wish TV, this is All Indiana Politics Podcast on the All Indiana Podcast Network.
Good Sunday morning. Welcome to another edition of All Indiana Politics. I'm Phil Sanchez. A Westfield foster parent says he's running for the legislature because he believes too many rights have been taken away. Josh Lowry is a trial lawyer. He's running unopposed in the Democratic primary for House District 24. That seat covers portions of Boone and Hamilton counties. Republican Donna Shibley is vacating that seat after 10 years. And I talked with Lowry about his decision to run. Josh Lowry joining us. Josh, good to see you. Thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Why don't we introduce you to our viewers who maybe aren't aware of your background? Tell me what you do, family, all the good stuff.
Yeah, so I'm an attorney, a foster parent, and a lifelong Hoosier. I was born and raised in Martinsville, went to IU, met my wife, and then I followed my childhood dream to try to become a pro wrestler.
I saw that.
I went to Ohio Valley Wrestling, same school where John Cena trained.
Yep.
And after I went through that, I ended up going to law school, became a trial attorney, and that's what I do now. But for me, like, my biggest thing is we're foster parents.
Yeah.
You know, we've fostered 12 different kids, been lucky enough to adopt 5 of them, and that's just what keeps me going each day.
Okay, so is that background of being a foster parent, is that why you're interested in getting into politics here and trying to make a change on that front?
Yeah. So, I mean, a lot of it is, with a lot of these kids, you're giving them a better chance than they had, right? And you're trying to help them so that they're able to grow up and be productive members of society and deal with the issues that they've come from. But we literally ran out of room in our house. We just had to build a new room so that we could adopt our 5th kid.
Wow.
We got nowhere else to put any other foster children, so this is the way I feel like I can give back.
Yeah. So you're very busy. So going through the process, what do you think needs to change when it comes to that? Because I'm sure that's pretty high on your list of policy changes, correct?
Yeah. You mean as far as the foster system? Yeah. So I'll tell you, one of the tough parts is trying to walk a line between. So the law always prefers reunification, right? So we always want to give the biological parent a chance to get the child back. And honestly, that's my job as a foster parent, right? To help that kid through the hard time until they can go back. But sometimes you have biological parents that are never going to come back, but they can just show up every now and then and just prolongs it for a kid. And I can't tell you the stress that there is on a kid when they just don't know things are final.
Right.
They don't know when their life's going to get upended, and it's very hard for them to even go to school and focus when you have no idea when your life is just going to be, set.
Right. Okay, so why do you want to, you're very busy personal life-wise, you're an attorney, you got a lot going on, young family. Why do you feel this is the time for you to step into politics?
Yeah, well, I mean,
and I know you've run before, so obviously this is something that's close to your heart.
Yeah, well, it all goes back to that Dobbs decision in 2022 when Roe versus Wade got overturned. Our 2 oldest daughters, we actually adopted them from Pennsylvania, and then the Roe versus Wade got overturned, and I just remember sitting there thinking, we brought them from a state where they had more rights to a state where they had less rights. And the state you live in shouldn't determine how many rights you have. And so for me, as a father, I just couldn't stand by and let my daughters lose their rights. And so for me, it was time to finally do something. And that's originally, I got caucused in 2022, meaning I think it was July when I started, but we worked our tails off. And the thing that I kept hearing when I was knocking all these doors, I was like, people are with us. There's something being lost from the talking to them to the ballot box, but I know more people believe that our kids should have the same rights that their parents did.
Right. So aside from that, what else is important to you? other policy changes that you would like to see come forward?
Yeah. So look, if I'm elected, my top two things. One, I know I might be going into the minority. I might be in the minority if I'm elected, but it's the same issue that got me to run, the pro-choice, right? I'm pro women choosing what to do with their body. I'm pro parents choosing what books their kids should read. I'm pro people being able to marry who they want to marry. Mm-hmm. And even if I'm in the minority and I can't fix that by myself, I want to make sure that I'm always a voice for those people.
Right.
Number two, the economy, right? It's too expensive to live. And one of the biggest things that's hurting people is the absurd cost of childcare. Mm-hmm. When my youngest daughter finally got into elementary school.
Oh, I know, man.
Felt like I got an extra paycheck.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And it's a double-edged sword of when childcare is so expensive, you're forcing people to choose between their career and their child. So not only are the child is getting behind, because there's so much science to show all the benefits of early education, but now the parent is not able to contribute to the economy. They're not able to further their career. So it's just hurting everyone. We've got to do something about childcare costs.
And that's a bipartisan issue. I talked to politicians on both sides of the aisle. They both kind of feel the same way, at least the ones I have talked to in the past. So good for you for doing that, especially considering you and I are both parents. We were talking off air that we're both parents of young children. So I totally get that. How has the campaign gone so far? Because this is a tough district, we should point out. Hamilton County, Westfield, Boone County. That's a tough district. Usually, it's going more purple, but it's usually leans Republican.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you. So last year, 2023 municipal elections, so I'm running for House District 24.
Yeah.
Within my district, you had 3 city council candidates that were basically fully encompassed in House District 24, right? You had Tim McElderry in Zionsville, Democrat. He won. Anita Joshi, Democrat in Carmel, she won. My wife Alexis actually ran for city council. She was only 23 votes away from being the first Democrat elected in Westfield. It's a lot closer than people think. And not only do we know that from these vote totals and winning, you can ask any candidate that is run in Hamilton County or Boone County. You get done and you look at the numbers, say there are hundreds, if not thousands of people that said, I'm a Democrat, that didn't go vote. We have a lot more votes out there than we're getting. We just need to make sure that we talk to people and let them know that their issues matter, because I know what's going on, right? They sit there and they say, man, well, there's not enough of us, so my vote doesn't count. You may feel that way about your vote, but when there's thousands of you saying that, in Indiana, our voter turnout is so low.
Yeah.
The people that don't vote are deciding who our politicians are, not the people that do vote.
Josh, we're almost out of time. Is there anything else that you want to add in that maybe I didn't ask? And obviously we can have future conversations as we inch closer to the election.
Yeah. I just want to tell the people that as a foster parent, I spend every day earning the trust of my kids day in and day out. And based on their past, they may not have a reason to trust me. But that's what my job is. And in my campaign and as an elected official, I'm going to do the same thing. Whether you agree with me or not, whether you agree with my policies or not, I'm going to work day in and day out to earn your trust.
Josh Lowry, good to see you, sir. Good luck to you. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
All right, coming up, an investigation begins into delays with the federal student financial aid application portal. We'll hear from an Indiana lawmaker who called for the probe. Welcome back. A federal watchdog now investigating why your student financial aid application isn't going through. College applicants all over the country say the new portal isn't working. News 8's government reporter Garrett Berquist looked into what Indiana universities are doing about it.
The new federal student financial aid portal that launched last month was supposed to make the process simpler. Instead, it's led to headaches for families and now a congressionally ordered investigation. Andrea Ratcliffe has been trying to send in her son's FAFSA application for 2 months. First, she couldn't create an account.
I had set that up, or so I thought, and then when I waited the time that they said to wait and went back to log in, it didn't work.
Then she sent an application for last year by mistake.
It was a little shocking to me that the form for last year was still up and active and allowed me to click on it, fill it all out. I even put in there, when he was expected to graduate, and it didn't throw up any alerts.
She thinks she finally got it right, but there's no way for her to check.
You have to have an account for yourself and an account for your kid. So I can't really see anything. I have to go through my kid's account, which technically you're not supposed to log in.
Bipartisan legislation in 2020 directed the Department of Education to develop a simpler FAFSA application. The new portal went live in January, but many families have reported trouble accessing it. The Government Accountability Office is now investigating.
Honestly, there weren't a lot of conversations leading up to it. It was pretty quiet from the Department of Education. We had asked a lot of questions to prepare for the rollout, but the Biden administration has had 3 years under this department to roll out their new FAFSA.
Congresswoman Erin Houchin was one of the lawmakers who requested the probe. She says she had to try 4 or 5 times to send in her own daughter's paperwork.
It's unfortunate for these students, and we want to get to the bottom of it because it's completely unacceptable.
When News 8 contacted the Department of Education, officials there said only, the department is in receipt of GAO's engagements and will be cooperating. Several universities in Indiana have shifted their application deadlines away from the usual May 1st. IU and Purdue both have delayed their FAFSA deadlines to May 15th. Butler University says it will accept enrollment deposits after May 1st, and the University of Indianapolis pushed its deadline to June 1st.
I can guarantee students, for most part, it's not going to impact their eligibility for financial aid. It's just going to impact the timing of which they receive the awards.
Schutz says be patient and talk to the colleges you've applied to about any of your concerns. Ratcliffe says she wonders if she was wasting her time since her son might not qualify anyway.
It did not seem fast and easy to me. So, again, it just seemed frustrating.
Houchin says if you contact a member of Congress over FAFSA issues, make sure to provide as much information as you can, including the PIN number that you received when you created your profile in the portal. I'm Garrett Bergquist for Wish TV, wishtv.com, or follow us on Facebook for updates.
All right, coming up, Indiana's best political team on financial aid issues, a failed deal on attendant care, and more. All right, welcome back to All Indiana Politics as we welcome in 2 members of Indiana's best political team, Democrat Dana Block and Republican Mario Maslamani. Good to see you both. Let's begin with that financial aid form issue that we just heard about. Dana, we'll start with you. From what we know so far, does this sound more like an IT issue or an overall planning and execution issue?
So as someone who is formally educated and has an undergrad in information systems and an MBA with an IT focus, I'm here to tell you, anytime you roll out a major change or a major website, there are always going to be some type of glitch or unexpected consequences to bringing over a whole new system. I would encourage people to, one, just be a little patient. The bugs are going to get worked out. I don't think it's a lack of planning. Honestly, it's sometimes you rolling out a whole new system and it has a lot of moving parts to it, and it's definitely a change than what you're used to. There's going to be a few wrinkles in the game. I've been a part of many projects, and eventually they smooth themselves out. And that's what I would tell people is be patient. And I don't know if I'd be giving my pen away. I'd be holding on to that information.
Can't go wrong. Old school, right? Mario, to Dana's point, and it's a good point, but maybe was the timeline for this a little too short in your opinion?
Well, Phil, as somebody that came from a low-income house that was looking to try and go to college, being able to apply for FAFSA and making sure I knew what kind of financial aid I was getting was extremely important to me. And so while Dana might try to minimize it, I believe that this shows just another example of the failed policies and the failed implementation by the Biden administration. The Department of Education had 3 years to implement and to roll this program out. If you look at the facts and statistics, 4 million people have been able to enroll so far by the end of January. To date, normally on average, they have about 17 million people apply and process by now. So what this shows is there's about 13 million low-income families that are waiting to find out what's going on, if they're going to be able to go to college and what colleges they might be able to go to, but they're not able to do that because of the failed administration, the Biden administration.
I don't think it's a failure when you actually roll out the system. A failure is not having one at all, which we know none of the previous 4 years you didn't have anything. But it's, again, as someone who actually works in IT, these things are actually going to happen. It's not a matter of minimalizing, someone's situation. I just want to make sure that we understand that people, they can reach out to their colleges and say, hey, there's a glitch.
One at a time.
Universities are working with them. I just want to make sure we understand that it's not a matter of failing administration. Sometimes IT issues.
All right, so Dana says it's an IT issue. Finish your point, Mario, and we'll move on.
Well, if it's an IT issue, this should have been done and taken care of 3 years ago. The legislation was passed in 2020. It's 2024. And this IT issue is impacting low-income families. Kids are not able to determine what
it takes time to roll out a whole new system, bro. It takes time.
This is some sort of simple issue, but to families like my family growing up, we didn't know if we were able to go to college and what college we could go to.
And the universities are aware, and they will work with families. They said that.
Having that problem right now because of the failures of the Biden administration.
It's not a failure, bro. They actually rolled it out.
Regardless of who's at fault or what the reason is, we got to get it worked out, right? Let's move on here. Turning to state politics. All right, turning to state politics now. Lawmakers still don't have an answer for problems with the Medicaid attendant care program. Mario, at this point, how likely is it that these families will see some kind of deal?
There is going to be a deal done. I just talked to legislators just a few minutes ago, and this bill is going to go into a second reading next week. There are going to be amendments from the floor. I know that Republicans are actually trying to work out a way to make sure that there is funding for these families that are truly in need. But there is also a large number of people misusing this program and using funds and dollars that are allocated to this program that should be going to people in need. And so that is something that we need to address and we need to take care of because there's millions of dollars going to in fraud for people that don't need it. But I do say this, we still have plenty of time in this legislative session to figure this out. And it's going into second reading next week, and there will be a number of amendments from the floor that will address how we can make sure that this program is run effectively, but also making sure that we take care of any type of fraud that's being implemented and being used and misused from this program.
Danny, do you believe there will be a fix, or do you think this is just politics?
I think it's just politics, and I don't know if there will be a fix. Now that I know that Mario really cares about low-income families and families in need, to suggest that, some of these families are actually fraudulent, I think is kind of bad. We're talking about people who have families with people with health issues, and they're able to stay home and take care of them. Listen, I hope they work this out. They need to work this out because Hoosier families are in trouble if they are not able to have the income they need to take care of their families. And I know Mario cares about low-income families, so surely he's not working or speaking to kicking people off who actually need the money.
And that's not what I said, Dana. As a former
I know you didn't say that. I'm just implying. I just want to make sure.
Dana, as a former prosecutor, I prosecuted people that misused the welfare program, misused the child care program that Indiana had. And so there are, unfortunately, a number of bad actors that we need to make sure are not getting this money. And the poor families that have sick children that truly need it are actually getting the money and the care to be able to take care of their children.
You know what? Well, maybe they'll be able to, maybe Republicans can count better next time. Now budget better.
That there is fraud in the program.
But I
think by the end of next week,
all
right, hold on.
Before this,
I'm running out of time, guys, and I have only so much time. I have a lot to get to. I want to turn to a local issue here in Indianapolis. Another Center Township deputy constable arrested for being a felon in possession of a gun. This is the second such arrest in a matter of months. Constables not the subject to the same licensing regulations as other law enforcement officers. Dana, should state lawmakers maybe change that?
Absolutely. If you are executing with police power, then I think they need to address it. First of all, can I just say, not all Republicans are bad, so not all Democrats are good. This is an indication where maybe the wrong person should not have been elected to this office, even though they have a D behind their name. I'm going to say it. If my other Ds don't agree with me, that's all right. But obviously, this person doesn't know how to run their office. They're not doing the correct background checks. And no way should a felon be allowed to carry a firearm. This is just a really really bad person in a really bad position. She doesn't deserve to actually have the role, but nobody else ran against her, so this is what we have. Again, not all Republicans are bad, and not all Democrats are good.
Mario, 30 seconds left. Take us home.
You know what? I think it's going to storm this morning because Dana and I actually agree on this issue. I believe that this is a problem that needs to be fixed by our state house. And again, this is something that needs to be addressed because we have had a number of constables doing bad things, and we need to make sure that we try to fix this. And again, an elected official that's doing something that's wrong and illegal, they need to be stopped, no matter if they have a D or an R by their name. And I agree with Dana on that matter.
Absolutely, Mario. We can lock arms on that one, and we can march together.
Good to see you both. Thank you very much. We'll talk to you soon, and we will be right back. All right, thank you for joining us for All Indiana Politics this week. We'll be back here next Sunday morning, 9:30. You can also find our brand new All Indiana Politics podcast. It's part of the All Indiana Podcast Network at wishtv.com. Have a great rest of your weekend.
From Wish TV, this is All Indiana Politics Podcast on the All Indiana Podcast Network. Watch All Indiana Politics live Sunday mornings at 9:30 on Wish TV and at wishtv.com. Subscribe to this podcast and listen weekly here on the All Indiana Podcast Network. And be sure to discover even more great podcasts at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.